You've been with us how long now?
Since 2019.
2019, so for 6 years.
Yep.
What's been your best year with us income-wise?
Best income year with you guys last year, 1.4 million.
1.4 gross.
Yes.
Compared to your best year gross over there was 390. But like you said, you kept 50.
Yeah.
Did you keep more than 50 last year?
Way more than 50.
What was that number?
About 750.
All right, welcome to True Talk. Got a special guest with me today, Marysa Maggio. How we doing, Marysa?
I'm doing amazing, Mike. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. We had you on about a year ago, right? And I wanted to kind of revisit some of the stuff we talked about because your story is a lot like a lot of people I know, a lot of people I came into the business with. Like you started at another IMO. I started another IMO, Sean did, and it's almost like if that experience hadn't been what it was, we would have never had Family First Life.
Right.
You worked at two different IMOs, right?
Yes.
But let's go back. How did you even get into insurance? You were fresh out of college, right?
Yeah, so fresh out of college.
What did you study in college?
Business, economics,
Okay.
and finance were my two majors.
What was your
major.
goal with that?
I don't know that I had one.
Okay.
I knew that I wanted to start a business. I just didn't know what that was going to be. Even at the end of college, I knew I wanted to have my own business. I just didn't know how I was going to get there.
Okay.
So.
And actually, before we get too deep, subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the little bell so you know when we drop new videos. So you fresh out of college, what were you doing for work while you were in college?
So I was a server and a bartender.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what I did all through college. And I worked like 40 hours a week. So I wasn't scared of work. I was just like, what's next, you know?
Yeah.
So coming out of college, I remember my sister and I, we had lived together in an apartment at that time. And she had walked by me and I was sitting at like the kitchen table. And I was like, Christina, I'm just like a loser. And she looked at me and she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I just finished school. Like I had the entitlement hat on. I just finished school. Like I don't have a real job. And like, I should be doing better than this. And like, I was so like dead set serious. Like, I'm like, I should be making six figures. Like that's where like, because I went to Salem State University, which probably nobody's ever heard of, which is not going to get me a whole lot further into a six-figure income coming out of college. I now know that. I was like, okay, so I'm going to apply to some jobs. So at that time, I went on to Craigslist, right? Crazy to think about now. And I applied to a couple of positions, of which one just kind of was really vague. It was just kind of like, you can help people, leadership positions are available, growth within the company, kind of the things that I was looking for coming out of college, if you will. So I was like, okay, cool, let me apply. So I applied there and a couple other places. I show up to this particular interview and I didn't know what it was. Again, just full transparency. I get there, it's life insurance. It was a captive company. They did like this quick, like one-on-one.
Did you show up at an office or?
Yes, I showed up in an office, exactly. We did like a quick one-on-one interview with just like one other person. He asked me a couple of questions. He then was like, made me feel good about myself and was like, hey, you're going to go into the main room. From there, we're only going to be picking 3 people out of the 10 or so that are going to be in there. But like, good luck, basically. Okay. So I went in there. It was an overview about life insurance, if you will. And I had just lost my mom. So I wasn't confused of the importance of life insurance.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense. And I could see how it will help.
Did your mom have life insurance?
So she had life insurance. She didn't have, in my opinion, enough life insurance. But she had enough to make sure that my sister and I were afloat, if you will.
Got it.
So, that being said, that's how I got started in the industry. I almost feel like it came to a point of like my heart wanted it. And I was like, I can figure this out. I didn't even understand how I got paid, Mike. So, I mean, that's kind of how things all began.
Got it. Now, why did you have this, I guess, entitlement? Was it because of, the dream that sold to everybody? Go to college, get a good job, like, or was there something else to it?
No, that was it. It was like the go to college, get a good job. And I was like, I've always had a good head on my shoulders. I'm school smart, if you will, or I was school smart. And, and I was just like, I deserve that because that's what everybody deserves, says, the United States, if you will, or, says, society, if you will.
Sure.
And that's why I had it on, but it quickly came off. So
you go to this interview. Did you get the job on the spot?
So I didn't get it on the spot. What they did is they told you like, hey, we're going to call you and let you know who we choose, blah, blah, blah. And then of course they called everybody, but they didn't tell me that. And they called me, made me feel special and I got started.
Got it. What did you think leaving that interview?
Honestly, I thought like, I really hope that I get this
Okay.
position. Like they like, you know, like they played me into that. But at the same time, I was like, and it's going to be really cool because like I get to help people and it looks like I can make a lot of money doing it.
Got it. So they call you back, you get recruited.
Yep.
Then what happens? You get a license.
I was
right
going to say,
away?
go into licensing.
Yeah.
I mean, I failed the exam, 4 times, even though I just said I
Really?
was smart. Yep. Yeah. I got a 68, a 67, a 68, a 69, and then I passed on the 5th time. So, just keep going.
Yeah, keep going. So you mentioned earlier before we got on that they gave you, what was it, like a sheet that told you how much you were going to get paid? Or talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I went home, essentially. They gave us like this breakdown, and it was like average agent, if you will. And I don't know that it was necessarily actually the average agent, but that's okay. And I got excited about it because I'm seeing these numbers, but I'm not understanding exactly what it means. So I go home and I show my sister, and I'm like, this is like a week later after I told her I was a loser. I'm like, look, basically, look, I'm not a loser anymore because I'm going to be able to make, it was like, I want to say it was like $5,300 a week or something like that, which to me at the time was like, oh my God, I was like, this is amazing. So she's like, okay, that's awesome. And she wasn't hating on me. She was just like, but like, how, Marysa? Like how? Like I'm not understanding this breakdown that I'm seeing. Like how? And I was like, I don't know, but like I'll figure it out. And basically, I took the sheet and walked away from her. And it's like, hey, fair to say, I didn't make $5,300 my first month. And I did find out it was commission based, which I wasn't bothered by. I was just confused by.
So you didn't even know it was commission based.
No, I was like,
until when?
I was already working. I was getting field trained in somebody's car.
Yeah.
And we had went into a home, and he was a predominant Spanish, but he worked with a lot of Spanish communities. Okay. And that's fine. I don't speak Spanish, so that was kind of an issue in the home, learning, if you will. However.
Wait. Hold on. So they sent you out with a Spanish-speaking agent.
Well, he speaks English.
He speaks English, but he's meeting with clients that only speak Spanish.
Yes.
And that's your training?
That was my training.
They knew you didn't speak Spanish.
Oh, they knew I didn't speak Spanish. Yeah, I was very.
How the hell are you supposed to get trained by someone who's speaking in a language you don't understand?
That's a great question. That's a great question. But exactly. So we're in there, and he's doing his thing, and like I'm just smiling and just doing the best I can, I guess. And we do some no cost benefits, right? So we leave after that, and I don't really know what's going on. It's in another language, whatever. But obviously, it was not a closed body language, etc.
Sure.
So we walk out, and I'm just like, okay. So like I ask, I'm like, so like, what did you just make in there? Like, just so I can understand. Like, what did you just make? And he looks at me like, nothing. And I was like, what do you mean nothing? He's like, we didn't sell them anything. And I was like, well, you gave them the benefits.
Right.
He's like, they're no cost. And I'm like, so like, you don't even get like paid for that? He's like, no. And I was like, okay. He's like, we don't get paid till we sell. And then I was like, so that's when I found out. Like, that's when I actually like internalized what was happening, And I was cool with it. And I was like, cool, it's me versus me. All right, let's go,
Yeah. Got it.
But I was like, I need to get some English in here so I can know what to say,
Right. So what was the training period like? How long before you got started to where you actually started making your own sales?
Yeah, so we did field training, aka I was in somebody else's car and going to their appointments for about 2 weeks. After that, you did like your release presentation with your, manager, if you will. If they released you, you were able to start doing your own appointments at that point. And if you weren't doing well in your appointments, what they would do is essentially make your manager schedule your appointments for you. And seeing that now in hindsight, it's like, that's basically saying like, Mike, I don't believe in you, so I'm going to schedule your appointments and go do them for you.
Yeah.
So long term, that really didn't work for most people. But luckily enough, I was able to just kind of get the skill, the practice, and be coachable during that time. So I was able to figure it out. It did take me, I didn't make a sale for a month.
Okay.
Like not even one sale. My own sister would not buy insurance from me. Like she's like, dude, I don't understand, So that says a lot. But after that, it's like, boom, once it clicked, it clicked. So like if somebody's out here listening and like, you're like, hey, I haven't made a dent in anything. It's like, once it clicks, let it click and just run with it.
Got it. And this sale sounds like a bait and switch, right?
Yeah.
Was it lead based?
I mean, no, it was no cost benefit lead based.
So they're filling something out.
Yeah.
But what you're selling them and what they filled out and requested are two different things.
100%.
It's like I order a pizza and y'all send me McDonald's.
Correct.
Like, well, I didn't order that.
Right.
So you had to then. You're going out there thinking I'm just getting this free whatever kit, right?
Yep.
And then you had to turn that into a sale.
Yeah.
How long was your average appointment?
Oh gosh, an hour and a half.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm. If you close it, sometimes 2, if you're writing 2 hours, sometimes if you're writing 2 applications.
Yeah.
But even if you didn't close, because of all of what you had to do to lead up to just getting to the point of life insurance, it took like an hour.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like you're in there for an hour no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was the close ratio, at least for you?
In the beginning, awful. But as time went on, I would say probably like about 50 to 60%.
Okay. But a lot of work. I'm sure a lot of unhappy clients at times,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like I'd be pissed if you came to my house and told me I'm giving you this free, whatever the case, and no indication of anything that I have to buy. And then you start pitching me a product that I am not interested. I'd lose my shit.
Oh, and Mike, I've had like, like a husband or a wife just get up. Like just get, because they're going to start like going off and they're like, basically I'm going to get up because I know my husband or my wife's going to like get mad at me if I freak out.
Right.
And they just walk away from the table. Yeah. And it's like, then I just like engage with the wife. You know what I mean? It's like trying not to make it awkward, but like it is weird. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I would be mad if someone did that to me too.
Sure.
And now I'm just like in hindsight, I'm like, how did that even work? Like I don't.
Right.
Like I'm like, thank God we have leads here. So
yeah. I mean, I think the benefit of it being life insurance, yes, everybody needs it. I'm not a fan of selling someone something that they didn't ask for. I'm not a cold caller. I'm not going to go randomly knock on doors. I'll never do that. Yeah.
And we used to do this thing. We called it like T canvassing. So like as an example, if I had an appointment with you, Mike, and let's just say like, I was going to give you some kits or something for no cost. Right.
Yeah.
And you weren't home. I'd be like, oh, like, and I'd go across the street to your neighbor, hence the T, right? Across the street to your neighbor. I'd be like, hey, I'm just waiting for your neighbor, Mike, to get home. But Mike mentioned you have a couple of kids, right? Did you get your benefits yet? So like, it's literally, like, I was cold knocking at times. And it's like, hey, some people would let me in, be like, yeah. And then other people are like, who the heck are you? You know what I mean? Like, and get out of here. And Mike didn't tell you that because I just talked to him 2 minutes ago. He's my neighbor. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So, and we just like, so it's like you knock on random doors and you get no-showed. It's like, we don't have to do that here. So, but like, I'm thankful I went through that because it's like, I'm so much more thankful for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. How'd you feel though? Like, when you take a step back, obviously I'm sure in the moment, it's your blinders are on, you're trying to make money. But how did you feel like day in and day out, just knowing like, man, I'm going in, I'm pitching them this, they think they're getting this, and then I'm hitting them with this, like.
Yeah. So like the biggest thing that kind of like struck for me and that like was like, okay, Marysa, you need to just like get out of here. Like it's going to be toxic long-term is even if I could sell, right, I can sell. It was never just about me for me. It was about like, how can I help you and, the next person. And like, it got to a point where I didn't feel confident in hiring somebody and saying like, hey, Mike, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like we're going to T-canvas people and we're going to, we're going to bait and switch them because obviously people had questions about that. Not everybody was as easygoing, I guess, as I was when I got started. Right. And like, and they shouldn't have been per se.
Right.
But at night, I mean, like I was younger, right? I was 20 to 22 years old doing this. Now, if I was today, I would be like, okay, no. I'd be like, y'all are crazy. Like y'all are, we're going to get shot. You know what I mean? Like, so it really stuck with me of, hey, not only am I not able to necessarily help myself to the best ability in the industry, but like I'm not able to help other agents feel confident in the process. So I need to leave. Like, I'm not going to be able to build something long-term here.
Got it.
And that's really what I left. And I called it, like ethically and morally. I just didn't necessarily agree with it. It just kind of over time, to your point, sitting with that, it just didn't feel good.
Sure.
Not because I was hurting anyone by giving them life insurance who did buy.
Right.
But because it's like, like you said, that's not what they asked for.
Correct. The route you're taking, you don't feel good about how you got there. End result, sure, everybody needs it.
Right.
How long were you there for?
A little less than 2 years.
Okay. What was your best year income wise there?
At my first company, my best income year, probably like 120,000. Nothing crazy impressive.
Got it. That's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lead, were you buying leads? They give them to you?
They gave them to you, but
I mean, I would hope since they're like not real leads, they would just give them to you. You know what I mean? Like
you'd be shocked if we used to do like events and put like the no cost benefit box there and like fill the leads in. And,
God.
Yeah. So
unbelievable. So you then what? Did you just up and quit? Did you find something else first? Like, how did you end up at the second company?
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, I didn't necessarily have a plan of where I was going to go, but what I was kind of exposed to was, okay, there's other ways out there to do life insurance. Like,
Mm.
I didn't know people filled leads out and sent them back in for life insurance, but it makes logical sense when you think about it out loud.
Absolutely.
And the way that I transitioned to, so to say, that next company was a person who was working with me at that same practice company started working with this IMO, and I saw her lead for the first time.
Got it.
Now, this person calls the lead in front of me, and it was a mortgage protection lead. And they're like, hey, John, getting back to what your mortgage, da, da, da. And John books the appointment. And I'm like, wow, like people actually sent something in where you can just go in and talk about the product. Like, that's amazing. Like, sign me up. So like, that's where I was just like, okay, like I'm definitely out because I started seeing other options and I was just like, this doesn't feel right, especially knowing that that's out there, you know?
Yeah. So you made the move.
Yep.
What was that like?
It was uncomfortable. You know, it's funny in a way to look back on because my uplines at the time, they were a little bit adamant about, like, they told me I was going to ruin my life. They told me flat out, if you leave here, you're going to ruin your life. And I just I have still till this day, I have the voicemail because I just want to always be able to go back to it and be like, hey, you didn't ruin your life. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't ruin your life. Like, if you leave here, you're going to ruin your life. I wouldn't want that to happen to you or for your future family and your future self. And I know your goals, and really just try to almost blacklist me back in there. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm out. Like, don't call my phone. Like, and that's kind of so where I was like, okay, this is a lot. Like, I'm really happy I'm leaving. Yeah. And that's when I transitioned.
Got it. What was it like calling off of real leads?
I was stoked, dude. Whether they were 8, I don't care if they were 5, 10 years old. I was like, hey, Mike, giving you a call about your mortgage on 123 Main Street, like getting back to what the form you filled out, like, how are you, and it just felt like such a more like, it felt like such a more comfortable seat to sit in, even though I was going to be uncomfortable in the process. That's cool. But it's like, you can't really get more uncomfortable than going from a no cost benefit to like somebody who filled a form out for life insurance and call it uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
How long were you there for?
I was there for about 2.5 years.
2.5 years. What I guess led you to us then? Because you're at a company now where there's real leads, right? You're making sales. You're making more money at the second company. Is that fair?
I was
grossing more money.
More money. Grossing more money. Yes.
What was your best year gross at this other company?
Give or take about 390.
Okay. What'd you keep from that?
Like maybe 50.
Seriously?
Yeah.
50K. Where did the rest of the money go?
Lead overrides, it's like almost like it's like in a way you're penalized for hiring. If your hire doesn't sell on those leads, you still pay the lead override. I mean, recruiting and just in different facets, which I'm cool with if we're building it as a business. Sure. But it wasn't necessarily panning out for me that way or others around me. And I'm getting paraded on stage and top producer and this is awesome. Number 2 in the company. And I'm like, if I'm number 2 and I have no money, like, how does anybody have money? Right. So that was a big red flag. Also,
and that's a shitty feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there. It's a different company, but the way you're describing it, I'm like, it sounds like a clone of the company I worked at because I was up on stage. They gave me an income ring. They said I made over 100K. I'm like, did I though?
Right. Did I though?
Yeah. I mean, maybe grossed, but y'all took most of it.
Right.
I probably actually netted 25K that year.
Right.
Like, is it that crazy? Now, I understand lead expense, but to your point, like, one thing that if you've worked with us and only us, you don't know what a lead override is. Right. It ain't good. Override sounds good, right? Agent makes a sale, we make an override. Lead override is if Marysa's direct to me and she buys a lead, I'm paying for that lead as well. Yep. Not that she's going to, let's say the lead costs $50. It may cost me $5. Right. Like, that's not a lot. Yeah, but if she buys 10 leads, now I'm paying 50. If she buys 100 leads, I'm paying 500. What's the problem there, Mike? Well, I'm going to have more than just one agent, right? And then what happens when you buy those leads? So the company I worked at, we used to call them free till Friday. Right. You bought the leads and it hit your card on Friday, right? So what would happen is you'd get an agent that came in and they got some money. I'm going to drop $1,000 on leads. Now here you're like, I'm excited because you're going to go make some sales. Right. There it's like, okay, I'm also going to drop, some money on your leads. And then if it doesn't pan out, now your lead bill is going to roll to me. Exactly. Because it's free till Friday. It's a credit, right? So yeah, we'll give you whatever you want till Friday. and then you get someone who is brand new. They're not doing the right things. They've not learned the process yet. They just think, I'm just going to spend some money on leads and make money. And then they quit and the lead bill rose to me. So now I've already paid the override, and now I've paid your $1,000 that you didn't pay. And that's just one person.
Right.
So and then not to mention all the other fees that are involved. Like there was so much shit hitting my account every day. Like this club and, the special producers club and, you want to get your MP3s and you want to get these book club and that club. And like, I don't want any of this.
Right.
But if you don't do it, then you're ostracized. You're not serious about your business, Marysa. How dare you not sign up for our new $500 monthly club where we're going to send you one training that you've already seen?
Right. Exactly.
Insanity.
Yep. Literally.
Oh, you want to go to convention? Yeah, the ticket's $99, but if you need to get the meal plan so you can eat this shitty ass catered food, and you're going to sit amongst the leaders. I did that. It's like $1,000. Nobody wants to talk to you because everybody in there is broke too.
Yep.
So you want me to go into debt, to go sit in this cafeteria, eating this bland-ass hospital food because I'm sitting next to the leaders of the company. Well, you were number 2 in the company. You had no money.
Right.
So no offense. At that point, what am I going to learn from you and from how to make money?
100%.
You ain't making money either. We're all just going to sit here and talk about how none of us have money.
Exactly. We're going to have like a negative conversation the whole time. Like, right.
We only have a competition. Who made less money this year?
Right.
who grossed more and kept less?
Right.
But it's when a culture becomes a cult.
Yep.
There's a fine line between culture and cult. And I think the places we worked were more cultish than like it's a horrible film. I'm on stage with my wife getting awards, and I had won a contest to get free hotel rooms because the conference, the convention center, there were 2 hotel rooms attached. They're nice hotels, Sheraton, all this other shit, right? But because of all the fees and everything, I couldn't afford to stay at those hotel rooms and still run my business. Right. But I won the free. I'm like, okay, cool. Conference is in North Carolina. I live in Connecticut. That's a 12-hour drive. It's not a fun drive. I would have preferred to fly down there. I couldn't afford to fly. So I'm like, something's wrong here.
Right.
I won this competition. I got free rooms. I finished in the top 10 in the country. I got an income ring on that I had to pay for, by the way. It was like, you gave me a ring, but I got to buy it. What the hell's going on here? I'm going home with trophies and shit, but I got no money. And you lived through this, right? Like you're on stage 100%. Awards.
Yeah. It's like the worst feeling in the world because you're just thinking, like you're looking at everybody else and you're just like, what does it feel like for them?
Right.
Like,
and they're looking at me going, I want to be in his shoes. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't.
Right. And the biggest thing I saw, Mike, like kind of on my way out, or kind of just like epiphany, if you will, hindsight, is like, not only was I not making money, it's one thing. Sometimes, you're not profitable in business day one. Cool.
Sure.
But as long as someone's teaching you how to become more profitable,
right.
Great. That wasn't happening. So across the board. So it's like, there really wasn't growth in a business structure there, right? So it's like, at that point, to your point, culture cult, I was in a cult. I realized it was in a cult. And I was like, I'm leaving the cult, you know? And thankfully, I did. And I had the opportunity at that time to meet with Sean here in Connecticut because I was in Massachusetts. Yeah. And like, I met him, we talked, and I was like, I'm ready. I walked out of here stoked. I walked out of here out of my mind excited. And like, I just felt like, wow, like this one guy that I've met and what I've seen on the internet of, the entire company, just, it speaks for itself. Like you can't be that fake in person. Like you just can't. Right. Like Sean was just being his authentic self. Like, what do you want? Where are you at? Where are you trying to go? And how can I help you get there? And it's like, when someone comes off that way, it's like, you can't really like they're just trying to help you. Yeah. So, and when I walked in here, it was just like game over. Like I just felt home and I don't know how else to explain it.
It's a great point. Like we just had a vendor come up this past week and I'm like, I could have met him over the phone and it was for some stuff for convention, but I'm like, I want to sit down across the table, face to face, look him in the, see if he's legit, see if he can really back up what he's saying. Cause it's one thing on the phone, on a Zoom, but to your point, like coming here, meeting someone in person, it's going to tell you everything you need to know about that person. How did you find us? So you're at this other company. What would you just saw a video online or?
So I saw so many videos
Okay.
online. I remember when I actually had first started at that company, I saw a video online of Sean. It was like a 30-second video. And I had called my upline. I was like, hey, and like I was just like, ignorant. I didn't know. I was like, hey, like, I actually just saw this thing for Family First Life. I'm thinking maybe I should go over there. And then they told me like, you signed a contract, and like, and they were like, but don't worry, you're in the best place. And I was like, okay, and just kind of moved on from it.
Mhm.
But lo and behold, like 2 months later, I had somebody hit me up in my LinkedIn DMs, and they said, if you could work at Walmart and get paid $10 an hour, or you could go across the street at Target and get paid $20, where would you work? And I'm like, this is a weird message. I'm like, where does this person work? Click on it. FFL, cool. I was like, I mean, Target, ... like what? And then like, I basically like was indirectly like, hey, I'm all set. Leave me alone. I'm happy where I'm at. I love the culture and
of course,
right? Because I'm in a cult.
Yep.
That being said, at that point, that person reached out to me on a really bad day for me at my practice company. And they're like, so how are things still going great?
Oh, they reached back out.
They reached back out.
What was the time frame roughly?
This is a year later.
Really?
Literally a year later. Yeah. It wasn't like we had this constant communication.
Yeah.
It was like this one conversation and like kind of like a follow-up. Like, and I was just kind of like, okay, this is like right timing. This is like supposed to happen. So I opened it up and I was like, hey, I'm open to talk. All of a sudden, right after, I was like, oh, like basically fly a kite. I don't want to ever talk to you. Leave me alone. I'm in the best opportunity. I wasn't. That being said, I got on the phone with that person. They were like, hey, they lived in Connecticut. Come on up, meet me and Sean. And, had that conversation with Sean. And that's how I got exposed to the opportunity. So it's like, guys, sometimes it's just not the right time for somebody.
Right.
And that was me at the time, unfortunately, but at the same time, I'm happy I got to see what it looked like at those two companies, because now I will never, ever take for granted what we have here at Family First Life, ever.
It's a great point. Like, people are recruiting. A lot of times they ask somebody once and then they said no. Like, it may not be a good time for them at that point. Maybe they just joined them. Maybe they are making money at that point.
Right.
But why wouldn't you then ask a year later, 6 months later? You just never know.
Right.
It's kind of like the social media stuff we do. You know how many people that join us, one of the first things they say is, I just kept seeing your post.
Yep.
Like, we saw it at the beginning and thought it was all bullshit. You're making up these numbers. And then I kept seeing it and kept seeing it. And then I finally had to just go, hey, what's this all about?
Right.
And it's the same thing when you're reaching out. Well, I sent one message, Mike, and they said no. Okay.
Right.
Well, send them a message in 6 months and ask them, is everything still working out for you over there?
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue maybe you would have found your way here eventually, but maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
But if that person sent you that second message a year later, that kind of triggered this move.
Yeah.
Because first year, I mean, you're drinking the Kool-Aid heavy then, right?
Oh, yeah. I had all the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yep.
I mean, they do a good job of serving it up, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then it's the best spot. And it also was a different time. Like I was at this other company 2009 to 2013. And early on, the information wasn't out there on the internet like it is now, in our space at least. Yes, the internet was around. Yes, it was big, but other IMOs, compensation levels, we didn't know. We were told that you have the best comp in the industry.
Right.
It was like, dude, your top comp's like barely 100. How the hell's at the top? But we didn't know. We were drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, it's best comp. Why would you go anywhere else?
Right.
And then when we started calling around, when Sean met with Americo, and we learned what they would give the IMO, we're like, well, if they pay the IMO that, then why the hell is the top comp only, 100%? Like, we can go up to like 140 and still be profitable. Like, why not? And then we moved it up to 145. Like,
yep.
I remember my first year, because you have naysayers. Everyone has an opinion, right? Like, kind of like they would tell you, you're going to ruin your life if you leave.
Yep.
They'd say shit like that about it. Your company is going to go under if you pay 140%. We're like, really? Because it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
I mean, you're right. It is a small profit margin, but our idea was a little of a lot. Your idea is a lot of a little.
Right.
And what happens there is you have a lot of broke agents.
Yep.
So I asked those, people at the top, how do you sleep at night, knowing that 90% of your company can't pay their bills?
Exactly.
And then 10% that can are you and the other executives at the top.
Right.
A bunch of broke ass agents selling them the dream that one day you're going to be rich.
Exactly.
And how long are you going to hang on that one day?
Right.
5 years goes by, 10 years goes by, and you still, I'm like, well, dude, when's it happening?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
What time does like what time are we there
right.
yet?
Well, when's the money start
Yeah,
coming
it's been a
in?
year and a half, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah, like what do we do? Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you're always told day in and day out, it's you, Marysa, right? It's
Yeah.
you. You got to do more. You're like, I'm number 2. Okay, so I got to be number 1.
Right.
So only the number 1 person makes money?
Right. Right. Exactly.
Like, how, when you thinking back now, you've been with us how long now?
Since 2019.
2019. So 6 years.
Yep.
What's been your best year with us income wise?
Best income year with you guys last year, 1.4 million.
1.4 gross.
Yes.
Compared to your best year gross over there was 390. But like you said, you kept 50.
Yeah.
Did you keep more than 50 last year?
Way more than 50.
What was that number?
About 750.
So you netted 750 last, taking out your expense. We talked about on your TNL, 2K a week in leads. You're running an office, a business. Like there's other expense, but we ain't charging you no lead overrides. There ain't no leads being rolled up to you. Your only expense is what you incur on your own, and you need to buy leads, right? Or you should buy leads.
You should.
You
exactly.
Should, you know.
Yep.
Looking back now, how crazy is it that you were the number 2 person in that company but had no money?
It's the craziest thing to think about because it's like, it just goes back to like, how do you sleep at night, right? Like they all knew I had no money, like the people at the top.
Right.
Like
they're in the same spot.
Yeah, like they knew I had no money. Yep. And it's like, how long can that really go on and stay like sustainable until it's like, okay, no one's making money. Everyone's leaving. And that's why that idea of, you know, what you said, Sean, a little bit off of a lot can become a lot. And it's also going to make sure that the agent force is fed and everybody's eating. We're eating, they're eating, everyone's happy. But it's like when everyone isn't eating, that's a problem.
Correct.
And people are going to leave. You're going to have that revolving door. And it's frustrating. And it's crazy for me to think back at that because I'm like, how could you be so stupid like me? Like to stay knowing that, you know what I mean? Like you were number 2, but it's like, you were learning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but it's like, also the way I see it is the other way around, right? It's like, okay, we at FFL, I don't feel like the leaders are selfish. I just don't. I don't feel like the leadership team, I just, like you said, y'all give away a lot more than anyone else does. Period. End of story. How do the owners of these other groups sleep at night? Yeah. Their agent force is literally poor. Like when they sell, they're making more off the policy than the agent is. Like that's a problem.
That's insane.
Yeah. And it's just like now looking at it in hindsight, it's like, I literally thank God every day for this opportunity because without this opportunity, I wouldn't have only thought I filled myself. I would have felt like this industry itself is not what it's like, not what it says it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is. This was my last shot at insurance. I remember telling Sean, I'm like, hey, look, like maybe I shouldn't even be sitting here right now, dude. But like, this is the last shot I'm going to take at insurance because like I messed it up twice. Yeah. And like, I don't want to mess it up again. And he's basically like, well, this is how we do it. And I'm like, well, that's complete opposite of how everyone else does. So sounds like this might work out. Yeah. And I was really excited. And honestly, I'm not saying I was, extremely profitable my first month, but what I will say is like, I knew how to sell insurance at that point. I was kind of more like plugged in, if you will. And I was always coachable. So it's like, I was profitable month 1 and I've kept myself in a place of profit through this entire 5 years. Right. Like, so it's like, find what you want to do it, go after it and realize if you are starting here, you are literally woke up in a Ferrari. Like you woke up with a trust fund. Yeah. Now it's just about, are you going to blow it or are you going to use it the right way? Right. And like, that's just how I look at this opportunity. It's the absolute best in the industry. And it's what the industry, in my opinion, should be. So thank you guys for laying out an amazing structure.
Absolutely. But I look back at the past company and it was a learning experience. Like I'm not mad that I was there. I'm not, I remember when Sean told me that he was thinking about leaving. I was like, dude, it's about effing time. Like, I was thinking about leaving. I just don't know where to go. I didn't go to college. I didn't have nothing to fall back on. As much as I don't have money, I'm grossing more than I've ever grossed in my life, but it sucks. So I'm glad we're leaving. But when we looked at what worked because there was some aspects of even all these companies we were talking about that we liked. Right. And then my favorite thing that we did though is all the shit we didn't like, we just left over there.
Right.
No lead override. What, no fees. Why are we charging for training? We charge for the convention. The convention costs us a couple $1 million to put on.
Right.
We kind of have to at this
Kind of
point.
makes sense.
We're bringing in Gary V. You think he's cheap?
No.
Like, we want, and then everyone has ideas for speakers. We got this guy, that guy. Yeah, like, I know. Okay, if we did everything free, it would just be like you guys and Sean talking. So,
Right.
yeah, everybody's great, but you want to have a big name speaker, and then we give it all back, and then that's why we started a lead giveaway, because it's almost like, yeah, we're charging, but hey, how much can we give back?
Exactly.
Yeah, we charge for you to get there to help put on this big show and also keep the cost down low. I mean, isn't it crazy that you can pay $99 to go get 4 days of training from the top people in the company, and then get whoever that year. I mean, we try to get the top keynotes every year. We had Coach Prime last year.
Yep.
We had Tim Grover. We've had Shannon Sharp. We've had Alex Rodriguez. We've had, and Barbara Corcoran. We've had the whole damn Shark. You like Shark Tank? We've had them all. We got another one this year.
Right.
So but we didn't want to charge you to, get on this podcast or like that. The place I worked at, you would have to pay to get content like this.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is insane. I'm like, dude, when I sell, you make more money than I do.
Right.
Why are you charging me to get trained so I can sell to make you more money?
Exactly.
It's insanity.
Right. 100%.
And when we started talking to the carriers about the comments, like, there's no need for this.
Right.
But when there's greed, then I guess there is a need for it, right?
That's the problem.
That's it. And we wanted to make sure we had a good culture, but we weren't cultish, and I think we've achieved that.
100%.
The goal day one was, can we build the best possible platform for the life insurance producer?
Right.
And I think we've nailed that.
100%.
Tenfold. And I think I sleep well at night knowing that there's a lot of people with us making a lot of money.
Absolutely. And making just a huge difference. And like, I sleep so much better at night knowing like my team is making money.
Yeah.
Like they're not just, it's not fake money. It's not, you'll get there. It's
right.
No, we're making money and like we're making a difference in their families' lives and their future families. So it's like every night when I put my head on the pillow, I feel a lot better now than I did prior.
Absolutely. Same. So best year with us was last year. You netted over 750. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What I guess what is your goal now? Because it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? What is your goal moving forward? What keeps driving you to get up every day, do what you're doing for your team, for yourself?
Yeah. So I the biggest thing for me in terms of like when I got out of college for my career, I just wanted it to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just wanted like Sean always talks about when you die, what is it going to read? Marysa paid her bills, like, and she was really nice. Like, yeah. or is it going to read she made an impact and there's going to be a lot of people there. And I commonly go back to that thought because when I first got into the industry itself, it was solely off of the fact of like, I had just lost my mom. I knew the importance of life insurance and I wanted to make a difference. So it's like knowing now that I have that opportunity, I've been able to get what I've needed, if you will, out of the opportunity. But it's like, that's not where it stops. It stops when you make an impact on other people. And one thing my mom really kind of like left me with prior to passing on was no matter what you do, Marysa, make sure you're impacting and helping other people outside of yourself. If you ever become selfish, that's the same day you're going to lose.
Right.
I didn't know what that meant at 19 years old, but I understand exactly what it means now. So now it's about paying it forward and showing other people like, hey, my life wasn't perfect growing up by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
And maybe your life hasn't been perfect up until today. And that's normal. No one's life ever is going to be, but you can do it. Like, just put yourself to what you want to do, get your goals in line, and like, let's do it together. And like, that's really where I'm at now is like, Yeah, absolutely.
And piece of advice for everybody out there, if you're working somewhere and you tell that person you want to do something better and they respond the way they did to Marysa, run.
Right.
You're going to ruin your life. You know what I tell an agent here if they go, I'm going to work somewhere else? I go.
Right.
Why? Because I'm confident that you're not going to find a place better than this for you. So I'm not going to beg you to stay or force you to stay or you're going to ruin your life. If you came here today and go, Mike, I'm leaving, I'm going to this other company. Bye. Good luck.
Right.
Hey, keep my number for if it doesn't work out and you want to come back.
Right.
Because I don't know. And hey, if there is, I'd love to find out what they're doing.
Right. Same.
But I know there's not a company that provides what we provide for the producer. And I know there's not a company that does anywhere near the volume that we do in our space.
Absolutely.
So have at it. Some of these managers blow my mind. Like, we shouldn't put leaderboards out. Someone's going to steal the agent. Let them go.
Right. Let them.
If they go, then they weren't yours to begin with. They weren't an agent here to be. Who cares?
Exactly.
And then they're going to, if they really think the grass is, there's so many agents that have left and came back. Why don't you talk to one? Hey, talk to Mike File.
Right, exactly.
He'll tell you.
He'll tell you.
He came here a few years ago and said, dude, the grass ain't greener. I tried it out.
Right.
And he's one of many. So instead of, oh my God, don't go check it out. Have at it. I dare you to.
Right.
Just don't burn the bridge because you're going to want to come back.
Absolutely. That part. Right.
Well, I appreciate you coming and doing this. Congratulations on your success. You will hit Hall of Fame this year.
No doubt.
Which will be your third time, right?
Yes.
Third time in a row. But I appreciate you taking time out to do this. I do. And why it's a big, because I know how hard y'all work. So for you to carve out a good chunk of a day to come down here to train, the agent force, I don't take that lightly.
Absolutely. Well, I don't take it lightly, you inviting, me out here and trusting me on this podcast. So thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And go to fflconvention.com. It's I guess the second best place. You get this every week, but there's no place better than the annual convention where you have, we'll have over yet 100 speakers at Ignite. We're going to call today with Sean going through the list, and we will have the top of the top. There's going to be a ton of people speaking. And I think my favorite part, a lot of favorite parts, but from the agent standpoint is what we do. If it works, we get up and tell you.
Yeah.
It's not one of those, you're not going to hoard it and go, I don't want to tell Marysa what's worked because she's going to, take some of my, there's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of clients that need life insurance. It's not oversaturated. And the best of the best get up and tell you exactly what they're doing. And they're actually making money.
Yep.
That's a big difference. I would go to these conventions. I'd ask people what they're doing. But if I asked them if they were making money, they dance around it. Well, the money's tied up and I'm investing and this, so you're not making money.
Right. Open-ended answer.
Right. Hey, when's the last time you paid your mortgage? How about that?
Right,
ask that question.
Right.
So, and that, hey, if people are trying to recruit you, tell them to show you, hey,
yeah.
How much did you make last month?
Yep.
Well, I don't really like to share that information. So you mean it's not impressive?
Right. Right.
You mean it's not what you're telling me you made? You mean you're selling X and your comp's so low you ain't making shit?
Right.
So ask those questions. And they can say no, but you ask an FFL producer, I guarantee you they'll show you their bank statement.
I'll show you mine.
There you go. Well, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. You know where to find us every week right here on True Talk. We'll see you next week.